Hello, lovely audience. Seth Estrada here. If you're watching this video, you're on my YouTube channel, Seth Estrada, and if you're watching it re-uploaded to BitTube, then you're on Mineyour.biz. Feels good to say that. Let me talk to you about the current news cycle in mining. Now, if you're into GPU mining, then there's no way that you haven't heard of Mineority. It's run by Christy Lee Minahan, also known as Oh God a Girl, running Oh God a Company. Hey, sweet. Here's the mail, it never fails. I'm not going to sing the whole song, don't worry about it, guys. But I wanted to talk to you about some of the stuff that's been going on in the last 24 hours. It has been a crazy news cycle. So if you've been following Mineority, then you know that they've offered hosted mining. Now, it's not the same thing as Cloud Hash, right? So what they've been offering, hey, we've got some new faces in the audience. Good to see you, Nick. We chatted not too long ago. And Reynaldo, good to see you. If you're familiar with the difference between hosted mining or co-location versus cloud, then you'll appreciate what Mineority has been attempting to do. And both publicly and privately, I have sung their praises. That said, I've actually spent time around these people and gone out of my way to meet some of these people. When Mineority was kind enough to fly me to Ohio, I got a chance to meet Wizard in person, have dinner with the guy. Great guy. So, Richard, if you're watching, I hope well, your ears are burning somewhere. So if you're watching, just know, huge fan of the work that Richard's been putting in. Same with Christy. And they've made a valiant effort at being as transparent as possible throughout the process of launching this new company. It's not easy. It's really not easy. And mining in particular, margins are razor thin, as you all know. Margins are razor thin. So it's not an easy business to get started in. They had an uphill battle, partnered with SQRL. Hey, we got Rod in the... Thank you for saying hello. They had an uphill battle, partnered with SQRL in Ohio, or Squirrels Research, and found that there was serious pushback. Guys, I'm going to ask you a huge favor on this one. Please be sure to like this video. Please be sure to share it on Twitter, on Reddit, on Discord. Share it wherever you can. This is important because I want you to get your news from the source, not from secondhand news sources or from anybody else. I want you to actually get your news from somebody who knows, from personal interaction, experience, and news gathering. And as you know, I'm working hard to try to maintain your trust, so I appreciate you sharing this video. But let's talk about Mineority, the beginnings, where it came from, where it is right now. Yesterday, Christy Lee Minahan, she posted in the Mineority Discord server a somewhat cryptic message. It was hard at first for some people to understand, myself included. I wondered, what does this mean? She very boldly announced that Mineority is going away. What did that mean? Or that it's shutting down? What did that mean? A lot of us were confused. She clarified a little bit by saying that they're focusing on FPGA hosting, and that for those who are hosting GPUs with Mineority, that they would be receiving a refund in ETH, the amount of ETH that they paid. Now, we all know the market has since turned, and the value of ETH, the dollar value of ETH, is not what it was before. However, keeping an apples-to-apples comparison, because people paid in crypto, it's kind of fair to presume that if they paid a certain amount in crypto, that Mineority would be obligated to refund a certain amount in crypto. So a lot of us wondered, what does this mean? Christy clarified, but she went beyond that. And this is why I went live right now to give you the full story. She went far beyond that. She went out of her way, and so did Wizard. Well, you don't know him as Richard Ayrton. That's his name, or that's his legal name. That's his legal name. You may know him as Oh God Wizard, and he is running a lot of the operations of Mineority during this last sort of hurrah that Mineority is carrying out, the last bit of business that Mineority is carrying out as they transition to this new phase of business. Again, Mineority hit the scene really, really strong. Christy, she made the announcement on my show, so debuted it on my show when she was interviewed with me after having released the ETH enlargement pill. And I asked her straight up, what is Mineority? And she made it pretty clear that Mineority was going to be a new platform for miners, by miners. Pretty amazing stuff. But fast forward to today, Richard has been doing, or Wizard has been doing, a lot of the heavy lifting lately since Christie has started working at Core Scientific. That said, Core Scientific has offered to do quite a bit to provide infrastructure for Mineority. I know it might seem a little bit confusing, but companies that are seeking the kind of scale that Mineority has been seeking on behalf of miners typically need to partner with larger power and data center interests in order to achieve scale. That's where Core Scientific came in. All right, again, I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this as close, from as close to the source as possible. Last night, when Christie made that announcement, so many people asked, what does this mean? To her credit, a special secret Discord group formed. I know exactly who was there, and I know exactly who wasn't there. So please don't take your news from any sources who weren't there. But among the people who were there, Christie herself, David from SQRL, so David Stanfill, who runs SQRL, and Richard Ayrton, or Oh God, a Wizard. They very graciously gave a lot of their time to go over what the changes will be, to go over what the day-to-day experiences will be. And they reassured us, the three of them, that actually not much is going to change. GPUs will be refunded in ETH. FPGAs are the central focus of their business moving forward, as it was communicated last night in this secret Discord group over voice chat, which I made the joke. I threatened to record it. I didn't actually record it, but I pretended, as I do when we have those kinds of conversations, I'm going to record this. I don't record those conversations, by the way. I don't record voice or video conversations without consent. That's actually a violation of the law in this country. And if it were discovered I did that, I'd be in serious trouble. So I don't do that. But in that secret Discord chat, they related to us how basically it's going to be business as usual. SQRL and Core Scientific are taking over business operations. Mineority is merely a brand right now. We can view it that way. I'll frame it that way. I don't know that they framed it exactly that way, but I will. I'm going to say that Mineority is something of a brand and an identity for the operation that at this point have been functionally carried out by SQRL and Core Scientific as far as the heavy lifting goes. Now, is Mineority an actual registered entity? Yes, it is. It's registered in 3 countries, in fact. So it is a real business. But as far as it conducting business operations, the entities that have been doing the heavy lifting. Yeah, the Yankee is making a joke, says, oh, sunny day. Yeah, right? Well, hey, yeah, I said it yesterday on the live stream. It's, winter is not coming. Winter is upon us. And crypto winter at that. So, what can I say? Time to nestle in, right? So, guys, that's a bit of the news cycle for Mineority. I want you to know that conversations that I've had offline, and not in public forums, and not in secret groups, but just one-on-one with Christie, I still view her to be a sincere actor in this space. And I believe that her intentions are to continue to look out for the interests of mine. And she's going to use the tools that she's uniquely suited to use to execute that vision. Granted, the same is true of David Stanfill. I've had dinner with the guy, spent a couple days with the guy, good guy. His heart and his intentions are in the right place, and he's very capable. I very much believe that they're going to be able to make this work. So they have my confidence. That's SQRL. And on the Mineority side, with Wizard, I've met with Wizard, very capable guy, being run very ragged. So, community ask here, if you are a fiduciary, if you have your equipment that currently being hosted by Mineority and you're interacting with Wizard on a regular basis, you might want to reach out to him and just say, hey, Wizard, where can I help out? Like, where can I help out in terms of keeping things running smoothly? It takes a village, guys. And right now, in the current state of mining, we have to pool resources wherever we can to make sure that we all get out of this thing with our shirts on. So I'd recommend that you reach out to Wizard. You offer a little bit of a hand. He's hustling. I'll put it that way. He's doing well too, but he's really hustling to make things work. All right, guys, that's Mineority in general. Somebody just asked about ProgPow. ProgPow currently has to be accepted by the Ethereum core dev team and implemented and go through the full EAP implementation process, and that's going to take time. We know that's going to take time. I would not look, personally, I would not look to ProgPow as the way out fast enough. So, yeah, Zcash did allocate, that's a great question. Zcash did allocate funds for implementation. They allocated exactly $10,000 to a very specific small team, if def else, to assist with that. That is Zcash, and that is for research. That's not even a guarantee that Zcash will implement it on the Zcash network. So, and let's be clear, for development dollars, $10,000, not a lot. Really not a lot when you consider VPS costs, when you consider hardware costs, and when you consider the number of developers working on it if they are in developed nations. So you look at a first world country like the United States, $10,000 does not buy you a lot of development. It just doesn't. And I know that sounds maybe almost snobbish, but look at a development budget of $1 million, and now consider that the average developer, senior developer, who's any good at a specialty, commands 6 figures. And that's before you actually pay their total compensation, including any other benefits, right? Health, dental, vision, etc. They're into you for almost $150K. Now divide $1 million by $150K. You see how many developers you have on board for a year? Not that many. So development always costs more than you think, and it always takes longer than you think. Just going to throw that out there. All right, guys, so just want to thank you for asking that question about ProgPow. I didn't initially intend to talk about it, but it's an apt question. It's a good time to talk about it. So Zcash allocated $10,000 for that. They also allocated some funds to the Zcash team. So the Zcash team has been tasked with doing a little bit of research and development on ProgPow as well, ProgPow integration as well, which was a little bit of a surprise. But I don't, and they've been public about that. I apologize, I don't have the figure off the top of my head, but somebody can look that up. Please post that in the comments if you don't mind, as to what the amount was that Zcash has, because they're offering a pass-through bounty from their funds over to whatever team is willing to assist with it. But guys, let's talk about the rest of the news cycle. There's hardware out that frankly is also not going to get us out of hot water. The RX 590, for example. If you've been paying attention to the Mineyour.biz Discord, then you know that our very own moderator, Newbie, that he went far out of his way to provide custom timing straps, memory straps to XSF Serpent. So big shout out to Chris Vega for being a pioneer on the RX 590. He got a very early model delivered to him, and he and Newbie, they published their numbers a week ago. So those are freely available in the Mineyour.biz Discord. And yeah, Roderick mentions we're in the middle of a purge of purposeless crypto. Absolutely correct. But guys, right now, the RX 590 is, I'm going to say it's just not the value that anybody thought it was going to be for gamers, not the value. You have the same number of stream processors as the RX 580, and it's basically, it may as well be called the RX 680. At this point, it, on paper, should consume less, should be a lower wattage device. In reality, it's not. There is no savings to be had here. Do not try to buy your way out of the mining profit slump. The RX 590 is to be avoided at all costs. If you're looking at Polaris Edition cards at all, look used. That's what I got for you guys. The RX 590, anybody who's trying to sell it to you with Amazon links or any other way, do not listen. Anybody who's trying to tell you that it's a top performer may be uninformed. They might just not know. We pushed it to its absolute limit, and Serpent, he asked me, to his credit, he asked me to remote into his machine to do some tests myself with the RX 590. When I did, I wasn't able to beat the numbers that he and Newbie were able to achieve. And by that, let me be clear. Crypto Night Heavy looking at about 1.135 kilohash. Hey, awesome. So we see in the comments somebody's working on a ProgPow chain. We have a ProgPow chain that is in development in Mind Your Biz Discord as well, but I'd love to see that. Thank you for calling that out. Any development of ProgPow that's being correctly implemented is good development. So thank you for that. But guys, the RX 590 getting about 1.135 kilohash on Crypto Night Heavy and variants, so Crypto Night Haven, Crypto Night BitTube, etc., or Crypto Night Savair, as it's known. That's not going to yield a ton of profit today. And when you look at the initial capex or the purchase price of an RX 590, your break even is like 2 or 3 years. Don't do it. I'm here to tell you, don't do it. And I'm here to tell you, I don't care who tells you to do it, don't do it. Serpent took one for the team by purchasing one to do tests with. It was actually for a separate build, a gaming build for somebody else. So doing these mining tests was kind of just part of the burn-in process of a brand new system build for somebody else. He was smart about doing the tests. You got to be smart about maintaining your own business interests with mining. So that's the one strong stance that I'll take, is that right now, you just shouldn't do it. Newbie saying, I might be wrong, but it's just a 14 nanometer design on a 12 nanometer process. And it's the chip maker that upgraded and not AMD that wanted it. I think that Newbie is right there. It's a slightly smaller process, and a bit like the other Polaris refreshes, that's only going to yield so much benefit. And that's validated through the mining numbers that Newbie and Serpent got. I mean, they're barely incremented above what the RX 580 was achieving. We're talking about 5%, 6%. So guys, that's what I got for you today. As far as the additional news from the news cycle, I've got an upcoming interview with Genesis Mining directly, from the principals of Genesis Mining directly. If you want to know more about the changeover from Mineority to Core plus SQRL, then I highly recommend that you join the Mineority Discord. If you don't know how to find that, we can either provide a link down below later on, or you can join the Mind Your Biz Discord in the description here, and we're happy to forward you over to that Discord, guys. Why? Because right now, when the mining profits and the overall outlook of crypto looks bleak, that's when we need to consolidate our efforts, when we need to show proof of community more than ever. All right, guys, thank you for hitting that like button. Thank you for being subscribed, clicking the bell icon so you know when I'm live and new videos come out. You are the reason I make these videos. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.